I think that we all very at a young age were encouraged to play instruments, but you know, we weren't made to do anything like that. I think we were all very curious about music. Had a band together, they played, you know, cover bands and the Eagles and different bands. So we were just really tuned into music from a very early age. What can I do to make you love? She was 16, and I mean Jim, being older, I think probably had more of an idea of it. Various other bands around Ireland. You never actually really know for sure, but all of a sudden it's 8 years later and you've been doing it, you know. There's only take and let it go. Studio in his house around the corner from our own family house. So we basically went in there nearly every day for 4 years and we're riding and we're doing like small tours of Ireland. What can I do to make you love me? We got invited over to America by Gene Kennedy Smith, the American ambassador to Ireland, and we got invited to play in the JFK Library in Boston. And we did that and we thought, well, while we're over there, seeing as we've gotten so we went to Los Angeles and they all ignored us over there. Well, they saw us, but they talked about everything else but a record deal. And then we went to New York, and I think on our second last day, we met a man in Atlantic Records called Jason Flom, and he was very interested in our music. I think particularly took to it closer. And meet with David Foster.
We got to meet the hard neck of our manager, who took us into where Michael Jackson was recording his story, it was.
Heavy security, and you could not get in to meet this man.
I got past the bodyguards, we were very well dressed. But you know, because we'd heard about this man.
We went upstairs, we played a demo of Love to Love You, and we played Forgiven Not Forgotten acoustically around the piano, and he was enchanted. And the next corner to Records New York, and we're being produced by David Foster.
It just was a dream come true.
We were proud of the first album, and we hit certain areas, you know, that, you know, maybe, you know, certain countries in Europe do well in England either. And you know, when Talking Corners really hit very well, and then they started to buy Forgiven Not Forgotten, it just kind of proved to us that they could like it. It was just a matter of getting to them, you know, and them hearing it. This is the right once in a lifetime. Our first album, we had 4 years to write it. Forgiven Not Forgotten is a completely different album as far as I'm concerned to Talking Corners in every way that we did it. We spent 4 years in a bedroom studio doing Forgiven Not Forgotten. When we went to do Talking Corners, we were given a time scale, basically, and you have to get that album out as fast as you can, and every band has the same problem. Do the album as fast as they can. It wasn't really churning out music, because in essence really, when you do write a song, if it's a good song, it should, in a very short amount of time. I mean, you can write a song and basically, when we were also writing Forgiven Not Forgotten, we didn't know we were writing Forgiven Not Forgotten, we were just writing songs, and we had bring over and taking our time, taking some time off, going for a cup of coffee, and learning how to write. A lot of experimentation. first thing that you play is generally the best thing to sing the song. So it's really just that way, and sometimes it can be, you know, like 2 of us, or 3 of us, or all 4 of us, or just 1 of us. Depends. You have been in there working on it. I think, you know, in that morning, or if it was sunny that morning, and I think if you know there's a low cloud, it's a little bit more depressing, or a little bit more sad, or even a little bit more haunting. The cloud is quite tight, and I think that makes that haunting, mysterious sound, which we certainly get a feel of that to our song. That's very forgotten. You can feel that very much. It has that feel. I think Andrea once described it as what was it, melancholy sadness, something like that. And then on Talking Corners, you know that we've travelled the world and talked different environments coming into the music, coming into it. Sometimes some of even the traditional, most Eastern musician, or every artist is influenced by the environment.
We're constantly drawn towards music, and I think that anybody, if they can make it and you know, you get the most, I think the most rewarding experience is whatever you're talented at, and luckily we've had that opportunity.
No, you're not forgotten.
I think that it's difficult enough being together, all of us, you know, cocooned as a family. But, you know, to be very honest, you know, it's lucky that we love our job.
You know,
Support me.
Rock music and traditional Irish music. People, but to us it's perfect.
Artists, other Irish traditional artists that we would have listened to more, like Martin Hayes, Steve Goody, Clannad, bands like that. But you know, obviously you'd hear the Chieftains every day on the radio back then.
I find you so tender. Well, I just wanna say,
Paddy Maloney, oh, that was was Paddy Maloney and the Chieftains are doing this album with various female artists themselves, and so they rang us up and asked us would we do a song for their album. Absolute. So we go into the studio and we work with them all day and we get on great and everything like that, and our manager says, one for yours, why don't you on one? So they were on for it, and so the next day we got together again in the studio and recorded a song that we loved, and musically as part of our set, by Jimi Hendrix. So we just basically jammed it all out together in the studio, and that became Little Wing, Jimi Hendrix song by the Corrs with the Chieftains. Crazy. Stick on a traditional Irish CD first. You know what I mean? Not that I wouldn't appreciate it or anything like that, but I'd much prefer to listen to something rock or pop or what's happening at the moment, to be honest. I don't know, mostly when what you're doing every day. So
small venues, there's you can see the faces that you're performing to, you can see the reaction very, very close up, and that's lovely. But playing to a large audience, I think the challenge of trying to make it intimate, even though there are so many people, you know, and because you know yourself, if you've ever sat in and it's felt too big and you feel like you're peeping in on something that you weren't supposed to. No, you know what I mean. So I think that is that whatever gig it is to make it an enjoyable experience and something that each person feels that was personal for them. I went to violin lessons 6 or 7, and there was a local teacher in Dundalk setting up an orchestra, so I went to violin lessons and I suppose played classical violin until I was 16, and then got interested in traditional Irish music. So then I started. Now I play more like a mixture of traditional and classical.
I play piano and I play baron as well. It was a natural thing to do because I played the drums, and the baron is purely traditional. The first time bought me one. The first time I had it, and I just learned it myself. I just was very interested in it.
The piano guitar as well. But, yes. I was very lucky to grow up with the piano in my bed. Tinkling away as soon as I could reach the keys. But my father and by what he was playing.
I played the piano and the tin whistle. We all got very much interested in traditional pubs and everything. It was just flute. We used to play in a session in a pub that we worked in. And
Called
so,
Kevin Shield.
to teach me, he did. And so I just love the instrument.
Well, that's a song I wrote probably about 2 years ago now. Actually, we released it on the Unplugged as well. We did it on the Unplugged as well, and it was originally meant for release on this album. It was just a song that I wrote one night, and it was basically I was missing my boyfriend and he sounds, and it was just so I listened to the radio and I hear some songs that remind me. That was it basically. We're progressing as musicians. She would want to repeat the last album, but you certainly want to get that and move on to where you're going as a musician rather than stay stagnant, you know. Andrea, when she was a kid, used to have this pot belly, and she looked like a malnourished child. She always had, and then she had the tightest ringlets, curly hair, and I always say that Daddy used to say that they got it from somewhere else, you know.
Andrea's, Caroline probably might have told you, is the Danger Dizzy. I call her Danger Dizzy. Dizzy because she's so forgetful. Danger because it's sometimes dangerous. I mean, it really is. She can sometimes, her memory is not functioning to a point where she's fully alert, and that you know, at times I just think it's full of danger, dizzy.
And she's dizzy. She get loose. Funny. Yeah, dizzy. So she gets lost and stuff like that. You know, in airports you're looking for Andrea, you know, and she's lost her passport, she's lost her boarding pass, you know, stuff like that.
Colin used to cry at sad songs all of the time. Every morning before we went to school, Colin would be weeping.
Sharon might have been a little bit dogmatic when she was younger, you know, opinionated.
We always stole Sharon's clothes and tried on her makeup. 4 years older, and that meant that she suddenly became adolescent and beautiful, and we were still children. You know,
Had her own room and all her own clothes, and we used to just take her clothes. We were always taking Sharon's clothes, which was unfair because she always had beautiful clothes, and me and Andrea shared a room actually for many years.
and myself and Colin, we were brought up like twins, pretty much.
So, no, Andrea.
Jim was such a tease.
Jim was a teaser. Put you in a dark corner. You did. Get out, will you? Go away.
We used to play hide and go seek, and he'd hide me because I was really. And at the top of hide and go seek, and I'd still be up there going,
Yeah, I remember Jim. I remember one specific. He used to. And they would dump a load of chipboard, something out of it, which I just wouldn't understand at all. His room, and I tape, and he'd actually gadget where he taped me saying my prayers. I was so young. That was really embarrassing.
and have like spooky.
There was an awful brother.
Hey, get out! No, because I have to talk about everybody, so I'm going to say really bad stuff.
I'm just talk about you.
Caroline started playing the violin first, but I think the teacher in our term was of the idea of, like, you know, I think the not you many was Suzuki School of Teaching, which was you know, get them when they're 3 years old. And fantastic musicians when they're, you know, 10 or 9 or whatever. But Caroline face why you had no hair, and so she was just too young. So I was 3 years older, and Mum and Dad said, well, you know, what about Sharon? So I got that job, and you know, I ended up playing the violin.
If I sit with any man, he is going to be. We are both going to be subject to. It's something that I have to disregard, and you know, I was just talking to someone the other day, and they said it's the right idea to go that the media side, it's a, and so in that way, I just have to not listen to that stuff because it's too ridiculous. I mean, the amount of relationships I've had at this stage is kind of. You know, an awful lot of people do ask, will I act, and you know, because of the other movies and everything like that. Well, and if I'm going to be very good at it, I'll only do it if I would be really good at it, because I assume just because I'm a singer. So I promise I will only do
the future, but it won't be after I take quite a long break. Explore doing what I said earlier, what I would like to do, but certainly production is one of the things that would greatly interest me.
Well, I'd like to explore another side of music as well, which is kind of like more soundtrack. There's never really been anything that I as much as music. I can't really want to do. Even when I was a kid, I was like, oh yeah, I'll be a school teacher, I'll be this, but none of that would become a reality. The only real love I've ever had is music, and I think I'll always be doing something in music.
Oh, I don't when I'm on tour. I think that I am interested in a lot of different things, but I would have liked to go to university. I've had such a wealth of education from reading and from traveling the world and from meeting different people and communicating with different people around the world and going through quite a lot of life. There's no moment of where it doesn't go, that's different, you know, that's something new. God, you know, sometimes I dream about, you know, I was just studying poetry in the summer, rapping. So I mean, I don't know, maybe in the future I'll do that. I mean, that's what, you know, my parents always said, you know, I'd still be able to go at some stage if I wanted to.
There's a whole spiritual explored, and I think it's a very important. It's just a quest for what is that elusive meaning of life.
The real idea of life, which is, you know, to procreate and have children, you know, be the next parents.
I'm very adventurous about life, and you know, I'll keep my arms open and wait and see what's going to happen. You know what I mean? I love the not knowing, and I really do believe.
We're the Corrs.
You're watching. Channel V.
Kiss my ass.